The woman nobody knew. In a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of the city lived a woman nobody truly knew. Her name was Grace. She was young, beautiful, light-skinned, calm, and always neatly dressed. Every morning before sunrise, neighbors would see her step out of her small rented apartment, wearing simple, modest clothes, carrying her handbag and lesson notes carefully against her chest. She worked as a nursery school teacher. Children loved her. Parents respected her. But in the neighborhood where she lived, she remained a mystery. She never sat outside with the women in the evenings, never attended birthdays, never exchanged greetings beyond a soft nod. No visitors ever came looking for her. No family, no friends. At first, the neighbors tried to be friendly, but after several failed attempts to start conversations with her, they slowly stopped trying. Soon, people began saying, "That woman likes herself too much. She doesn't want anybody around her. Leave her alone." And so they did. Every day became the same routine. She left for work alone, returned home alone, lived alone. What nobody knew was that Grace was seriously ill. She suffered from severe asthma attacks that came without warning. Sometimes late at night, she struggled to breathe inside her room, forcing herself to crawl toward her bedside table where her inhaler and medication stayed. She fought her battles silently because she had no one. One cold morning around 6 a.m., just as the sky was beginning to brighten, Grace stepped outside her gate on her way to work. Then suddenly, she stopped. Her handbag fell. She grabbed her chest and collapsed violently onto the dusty roadside. At first, a few passers-by slowed down to look. She rolled on the ground, gasping desperately for air. But people kept walking. Some thought she was possessed. Some thought it was epilepsy. Others simply didn't want trouble. Then a man selling bread nearby noticed her condition. "Help her!" he shouted. "Someone help this woman!" People began gathering around, but nobody moved closer. Nobody knew her. Nobody knew what was wrong with her. They only stood there watching as the quiet woman who never spoke to anyone struggled for her life right in front of them. Grace stretched her trembling hand toward them. "Please," she cried weakly. "Hospital! Please!" But panic and confusion filled the crowd. Some whispered, some argued, some simply stared. Tears rolled down her face as her breathing became worse. Then, with the little strength she had left, she cried out loudly, "Are you people going to watch me die? Please, do something." The crowd fell silent. Finally, one of the neighbors remembered the nursery school where she worked. He quickly jumped on a motorcycle and rushed there. The moment the teachers heard what happened, they panicked. The school driver immediately brought out the school bus, and together with some teachers, they sped to the neighborhood. But by the time they arrived, Grace was already fading. Her body was weak. Her lips had turned pale. The teachers lifted her into the bus and rushed toward the hospital, while one of them held her trembling hand tightly. But halfway there, she stopped breathing. Silence filled the bus. Grace died before they reached the hospital, and the painful truth? She could have survived. All she needed was her inhaler. A few days later, while neighbors helped pack her belongings out of the room she rented, someone opened a small drawer beside her bed. Inside it were neatly arranged asthma medications and her inhaler, the exact thing that could have saved her life that morning. The room became painfully quiet. For the first time, the neighbors realized something heavy. The woman they called Proud, the woman they avoided, the woman nobody understood, had actually been fighting for her life alone all along. And now it was too late.